You know what? I'm not gonna lie. Coming into this race, I was worried that was gonna be a complete wreckfest like it has been the past 2 or 3 events, but this Talladega race was what's the word I'm looking for? Oh yeah, awesome! Yo, what is up everyone? My name is 𝘍𝙗𝙀 from NASCAR on MDK. Welcome back to another episode of Inside the Lines. And wow, what a Talladega race that was. The 𝘼𝙗𝙀 70 that took place just wrapped up a few moments ago. And it was an intense race and also a fantastic broadcast as a whole. We're just going to quickly go over it. Okay, let's just jump into this race. So 𝘚𝘁𝙁 started on the pole. It was supposed to be like the top 10 and inverted to the back of the field, but that didn't work. So they just said, screw it, let's just go right ahead with whatever happened. It was confusing the way they were trying to do the qualifying thing, but 𝘚𝘁𝙁 started on pole. You had your usual suspects up front, 𝘼𝘗𝙁 𝙭𝙺, William Byron. Surprisingly, you even had also 𝘬𝘚 𝘍𝘐𝙗𝙁, who he was one of those drivers that didn't have that much iRacing experience. He was up near the front. It was very surprising to see that throughout the first half of the race. You also saw Clint Bowyer in the mix throughout the first half of this race, but you saw Jeff Gordon, who was on the back end of the field for a majority of the race. There was a little competition going on because apparently, there was a stat that happened that Mike Joy said that I think out of the 13 or the 20 Talladega races that Gordon and Bowyer has competed in, Bowyer has finished ahead of Gordon in 13 of those. So there was a bit of a friendly competition and overall made the broadcast as a whole that much fun to watch, to see Gordon and Bowyer, you know, messing with each other because they do have a bit of history with 2012 at Phoenix. You know, we have to bring up that again. But yeah, the chemistry between Bowyer, Gordon, Larry Mack, Michael Waltrip, and Mike Joy, just, you know, how they were interacting with each other and with the broadcast, it made it like perfect television to get away from everything that's been going on in the past and just sit back, relax, and just watch a bit of online racing. So the racing was normal. It was surprisingly normal. It was clean, it was aggressive, but it was not chaotic until lap 16. Bowyer was in third place. On the outside of him was Ty Dillon and Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Ty Dillon gets into Stenhouse, and Stenhouse collects the whole field. Then you see Jeff Gordon just fly into the air, flipping multiple times and ended up getting stuck into the catch fence. And Bowyer's reaction was priceless. Take a listen.
Hit with. Oh! Whoa! No! Ricky back. Did he get him? Yeah,
yes, he did. It's the big one.
Whoa, that was close. Woo! Did you see how close that was?
Hey, Ricky Bobby, what happened?
Is that what I was supposed to do?
Stenhouse wrecked.
Now we're going to flash forward to around 30 laps ago, because throughout the whole race, there's really nothing much that happened, but it was just good, clean racing. There's really nothing else much to say. You had the usual underdogs in the mix of 𝘼𝘗𝙁 𝙭𝙺, William Byron up front. You had the surprising drivers of 𝘬𝘚 𝘍𝘐𝙗𝙁 up near the mix. You had Clint Bowyer, who was in the mix, which was very surprising to see, you know, based on his previous 3 or 4 iRacing tries. You had drivers like Brendan Poole, Daniel Suarez also in the mix. It was just cool to see just these variety of drivers that you didn't expect to see up front dominate the race. Dale Earnhardt Jr., who I'm pretty sure a lot of people expect to do really well, he was actually not that big of a factor. He was on the top 5, top 6 for a good portion of the race, but he wasn't like the Pied Piper that we'd see him in the real life NASCAR world. In iRacing, he was sort of just one of those drivers where if he gets a run, then you go with him, but you're not actively looking for him to go with him to get to the front. It was very interesting to see that. The real Pied Piper was William Byron, because him in iRacing and, you know, his experience on there, he was literally the driver that everyone wanted to work with, and he was on the front for the majority of the race. So now let's get back to the rivalry between Bowyer and Gordon. So Gordon was kind of annoyed that Bowyer was ahead of him. Bowyer was making fun of Gordon for him, like, ha, he's in the back, Bowyer's up front, like, ha, I'm the best, I'm right now number 1. He was leading with around 33 laps to go, and there was this issue of temperature. We know, like this in the real NASCAR, where you don't want to be on someone's bumper for a long period of time, or else your engine blows up. I think it was around 280, 285 is when your engine goes kaput. Well, Bowyer apparently did not listen to that. Either A, didn't listen, or B, just forgot to check his gauges, because under 30 to go, this happened.
Oh, no!
There you have it.
No!
Oh, it's blowed up.
Oh, are you blowed up, Bowyer?
Oh, man, you gotta be kidding me.
You probably should have got out from behind him.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing. I'm not. I'm not laughing.
I think oh!
Let me tell you, that is one of the best moments in television and NASCAR racing, whether it's online or real life, in a long time. To see Bowyer leading and then going screaming after he blows his engine, and then you hear Gordon, who is 6 feet away from Bowyer, trying to contain his laugh and literally saying, "I'm not laughing," while he's hysterically laughing. It was gold. It was so hilarious. Bowyer would eventually have to, drive back to the pit road, pit road box, without like a reset. You can't just press a button and it automatically sends you to pit road. He had to drive around, stop, and then he can get a reset. So he was around 2 or 3 laps down. Gordon was already out of it, so it wouldn't be a question there of any of those two drivers having a shot at winning. And I further say that because 15 laps later with 14 to go, Chase Elliott and the 15 car Brendan Poole on the high lane, and then Poole gives Chase Elliott a bit of a nudge, and then Elliott clips Jeff Gordon. Gordon goes in the wall, collecting 3 or 4 other drivers to bring out a caution with under 14 laps to go. And then from that point on, the racing was just fantastic. We saw side-by-side, 3-wide, even 4-wide racing at points. And even though it was simulated like it wasn't real, it felt very real. Like, I was actually, like excited. Like, my heart was kind of pounding because I was so excited to see, okay, hopefully, like, they don't crash. Hopefully, they make it to the end. And it looked like they were gonna make it to the end. I mean, it literally looked like that. Didn't look like it was crazy. It was chaotic, but it was organized chaos. That all just came apart 3 laps ago. Joe Logano gave like a bit of a nudge to the 37 car of Ryan Preece on the right rear, and he just collected everyone behind him, including Ryan Blaney, who topsy-turvy flipped in the air, bouncing, flying everywhere, and brought out the caution with 3 laps to go. Which, by the way, a few laps before that, Larry Mack gave us one of his mech nuggets again and said that he expects the caution to come out with around 2 to go. And the caution came out with 3 to go. So literally, Larry Mack is a freaking wizard, okay? He's a psychic. He predicts the future, I feel like. He has to have. But anyway, so you had Alex Bowman and Ty Dillon on the front row at the restart with 2 to go. They already wrecked twice. As soon as they start finishing to take the restart, Jimmy Johnson, a couple other drivers already wrecked. And then we came around to the final lap. You saw Chase Elliott in the back. They crashed everywhere on the back straightaway. Ty Dillon was the racer on the inside lane. He had Corey LaJoie to his back bumper. And heading into the travel, LaJoie made a move. Dillon blocked, and Dillon gets taken out. And that set up a side-by-side battle between LaJoie, Preece, and Bowman. Bowman on the outside, Preece to the wall. But Preece was able to edge out Corey LaJoie to win his first eNASCAR iRacing Pro Invitational event. Second place was Corey LaJoie. Third was Ryan Preece. And I think Landon Castle was 5th. And 4th was the 51 and Garrett Smithley. I just had a quick check there. Again, this... if there was like a full race replay, you guys have to watch this race over. It was not only, like I said, it was a phenomenal, it was a great race, but it was even a better broadcast. The chemistry between the Fox guys of Jeff Gordon, Clint Bowyer, Michael Waltrip, Mike Joy, and Larry Mack, that was all just a joy to watch that race. I really did not want this race to end. I wanted it more. I wanted more. I wish they did it to like 140 laps instead of 70 laps, or wherever how long it was. I forgot, but it was overall very, very fun. Form of entertainment for fans of NASCAR, and hopefully all the other people that weren't into NASCAR first, hopefully you guys watched that, and I hope you left entertained. Now, we do have to address one thing. So Denny Hamlin, he finished dead last. Now, at first the reason was that he wanted to reverse, and apparently he came to an iRacing and it kicked him out of the game. Apparently that was at first the reason, but we come to find out from a video that Denny Hamlin posted onto his Twitter page that just look.
I'm mad. I'm pissed off. But they're just kids. You will see at the end of this clip, or end of this recap, we have live footage of my daughter coming in with a remote, Samsung remote, hits the power button and cuts my monitors off while I'm racing.
Pause. Dad, can we go downstairs to the go-karts? Can we?
Hey, my screen just went black.
Uh-oh.
That's right. So Denny Hamlin's daughter apparently had a remote, I'm just putting out an example, and turned the TV off. Oh my god. When I saw that, I bursted out laughing. I could not believe it. I'm like, are you, like, seriously? That is how you finished dead last? I feel bad for for Jordan, because I mean, you could hear her as soon as that happened. She walked away like, uh-oh, like she knew, I did something really bad. Oh man, I tell you, this like this race was fun to watch. This whole broadcast was an absolute joy to watch. All right, I'm done rambling. I'm starting to say the same things over and over again. It was overall a great race, great broadcast. The next race will be at Dover International Speedway, so that'll be the next iRacing event. I am interested in seeing, let's say if NASCAR does go back into racing in May 17th, is this iRacing thing going to still take place? More likely it won't. Is iRacing just going to be completely chopped off the block as a whole once we get back into everything normal? Like FS1 has this Wednesday night iRacing thing. Is that going to still be in place once this whole pandemic goes down? Very interested to see what happens to the world of iRacing once the world gets back to normal. But overall, those are my thoughts for today's iRacing event from Talladega Superspeedway. Very surprising it was this clean and this fun. I thought it was going to be worse than Bristol. I legit thought that, because I thought, with the bumping and how you can't really feel the sensations of the cars you would feel in the real world, I thought with the bumping that would happen, it would just cause chaos every time. But no, very good race, very clean race. And yeah, what are you guys' thoughts on the race? Some in the comment section down below. What are your thoughts on Ryan Newman possibly returning to NASCAR? Depends on if he gets medically cleared. What are your thoughts on that? I'd love to hear your guys' comments down below. But until next time, my name is 𝘲𝙗𝙗 from NASCAR on MDK. And I'll see you guys in the next video.